Okay, we're going to go over some simple things now. We're going to jump back and forth from beginner to advanced material. This is going to be some forces. Now, if you don't know the classic force, I want to recommend Tony Gerard, my good old friend, because he's just got the best classic force. So I'll recommend you go check that out. And then I want to show some outs for the classic force. So if you're going to do a classic force, and let's say you're trying to force 8 of diamonds, okay. When you go to do the classic force, okay, if they don't grab it, just start to Hofzinser under, okay, then whatever card, you're not going to tell them to grab a card or anything like that, you're going to tell them to point to a card. This is something I learned from Roger Klaus, because when they go to grab a card, they have all these fingers, so when you have them point, see, it naturally makes it more so they can't grab other places. There's a whole bunch of subtleties. Okay, so let's say you missed it. You shouldn't miss it if you practice, but you're going to have some outs because you get some cantankerous spectators. So let's say they went further, okay? That's fine. You Hofzinser 8 of diamonds, right? So it's underneath the card. And you just had them touch a card. You didn't tell them to pick out a card or anything like that, or grab a card. You just said point to a card. So all I've done is point to a card. You've Hofzinser your force card underneath it, okay? Now as you square up, what you're going to do is when you slightly do, it's kind of like an Ackerman alignment move. What's that going to do? What that is going to do is place this card into position so that it's halfway underneath that card. Now this is a move of Ray Cosby, and this is a particular variation by Jack Carpenter, and what it is based off his impulse change. And what you're doing is you've got kind of a double lift, but it's not a line. Okay, you're going to cant it over. When you cant it over, this is so that your pinky can be on top of your 8 of diamonds on the side. Now, they're not going to see this because this is acting like a fulcrum point. Okay, because what happens is when you kind of, what I do is I tell them to hold out their finger. Now this is misdirection, but it doesn't matter where they're looking because this happens as your hand does like this. And what happens is, see, this finger comes up and you make this switch. Now what happens is when you come up, you tell them to hold their finger. And the reason why they're holding up their finger is because they're going to have them push it back in the deck. You can tell them to memorize their card. Okay, so that's the switch. So we'll go into that again. Okay, you went to do your classic force, you missed, so they went further. Now, you go to here, you Hofzinser underneath, you then go into square up. As you square up, you're going to do kind of an Ackerman alignment move, slightly. And you have to be careful not to flash it, because what happens is, this card is kind of like a double lift, but it's not a line. There's your fulcrum point on your pinky, okay? So this is what it's going to look like. You're going to tell them to hold up their hand, they're going to come up and it's that fast, see? They push it in. Now you make a little joke, you push it in, because you turn like this, and you say push it in. When they push it in, then you say, wait, not right. You make a joke, you say, I didn't mean all the way. Now then they think they've really got you, but that's one of the outs to use for the classic force. So go into some more in a moment.